I believe that the biosphere that we live in has the same capacity, and there is a remarkable ability for the planet for self-healing, however obnoxious humanity's treatment of the planet is. And when the planet is fed up with the way we're treating it, I'm sure that the planet is capable of dealing with it in one way, shape or form without our help. So I would like to believe, and I'm not suggesting for one moment that we sit back on our laurels, but I would like to believe that, you know, what's occurring in the Gulf Coast region, tragic though it is, may not spread to Northern Europe, because in the time that the Gulf Stream has to cross the Atlantic, the biosphere kicks in, the Atlantic Ocean can work its magic.
Mix it up.
And, you know, distill the problem before it actually reaches Northern Europe. Now, like I said, that doesn't mean for one moment that I think we should do nothing. I think we do need to raise awareness about what's occurring in the Gulf Coast region. I would encourage people to go do their own research, to look at the blue flu that's been nicknamed the BP flu. Go Google VIBRIO VULNIFICUS. Just go Google Gulf Coast sickness and have a look at what's occurring in the Gulf Coast region, because those people need help. They need support. They're not getting it from the federal government. The only funds that are being pumped into the area by the federal government are all about shutting down what's occurring to make sure that they can contain it. And we need this information to get out, go viral, to help these people. Take whatever precautions. I mean, we need our scientists to be focused on what's occurring in the Gulf Stream, but we also need to start bringing in some recognition of the how should I say, those elements of capabilities that we have which cannot be explained by Newtonian science. And of course, this is what the Querro were also suggesting is about to be unleashed with the solar storms, that, you know, humanity is about to be awakened. They describe it as like awakening the junk DNA, or triggering the junk DNA, which changes our whole bounds of perception, which completely reframes the world in which we live in. And, you know, we also need to...
doesn't sound like a bad thing.
It doesn't sound like a bad thing at all. But, you know, maybe we have to go through a lot more trauma, unfortunately, before we turn the corner and you know, things start panning out the other side. But let me end this short interview by making the observation that if I didn't believe for one moment that the universe, that humanity had a symbiotic relationship which had a future, then I wouldn't waste my time doing what I'm doing. You know, I'd be out on the golf course.
Yeah, enjoy yourself and
enjoy myself.
Live it up while you can.
In the final days.
Yeah.
But I absolutely believe in the bottom of my heart and through my own personal experience that whilst acknowledging that unfortunately things probably have to get worse, because that's what will actually help the awakening process, then, and I believe that we will pull through this collectively. And just finish on one final observation, because there's a wonderful piece of Zen Tibetan wisdom which I've known for a number of years, and that is that the greatest contribution to the soul development of another is to be their enemy. So, you know, just consider this, because when things are all going tickety-boo and, you know, it's all wonderful, then we're not really learning a great deal. You know, we're just existing. I mean, we're just tripping along. But then when conflict comes into our life, we're forced to think. We're forced to think about how we relate to that other individual, and maybe, you know, what behaviours we've been bringing into play that have contributed to this conflict, etc. So, you know, we actually have an opportunity for phenomenal learning when we find ourselves in situations that are challenging and testing. So, perverse though it may seem, consider the possibility that what's going on right now in terms of the very pernicious attacks on humanity, whether it's vaccines, GM foods, fluoridated water, chemtrails, you know, BP Deepwater Horizon disaster corrects it in the water. You know, whatever is occurring and being perpetrated by an element of people, a small group of people who think they are the rightful rulers of a planetary fiefdom, consider the possibility that these guys, not consciously, but in the realms of the universe, consider the possibility that these guys are doing us collectively a massive favour, because what they're actually doing is challenging us to completely shift the paradigm in the way in which we think.
Forcing us.
So I would say that, you know, guys, if it hadn't have been for events like 9/11, for the London bombings, for the Madrid bombings, for the Bali bombings, for illegal wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, and now the BP Deepwater Horizon disaster, I wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Certainly wouldn't have met you, no, that's right. Ian, thanks very much for your time. Really appreciate it. Certainly kept me interested, and I will be following your work. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.